What's going on, everybody? Things are changing right here in the studio a little bit, trying to upgrade this for you, for us. So welcome to McFarland Studio, McFarland Fishing, and the Lake Fork Guide. This is the weekly public rundown that we're actually going to upgrade here to a fishing rundown that has much more than just Lake Fork. Okay, we're going to broaden the horizon here for you. As always, you're going to get a good Lake Fork report, rundown, what's going on, and a bunch more in detail. Okay, so before we do talk about that, I want to, number one, I want you to kind of help grow this channel. I want you to tell your friends about this public, free channel, and where you can get a massive amount of fishing reports, okay, for a lot of lakes around the area. Not just bass, crappie and catfish, white bass and strikers. I also want to remind you that there is a members-only channel. The members-only channel is subscription-only based, and it has some perks. Number one, the members-only channel is going to have, as always, a lot more detail than I give publicly for free. I give the actual key locations, depths, more details on baits, colors, how to use them, how to set up the boat, the position. The value in that members-only subscription is huge. The other value that I've never discussed is publicly, you have to watch these commercials to get the full report. If you go to the members, you can skip. So in the members channel, you can skip and you don't have to watch the commercials. All right. With that being said, a lot has changed since we talked last Thursday, not just the backdrop and the lighting. Soon, and some new cameras are coming. It's going to really change everything here. But the lake level. Last Thursday when we talked to you, I left this on here. We were 402.13, 402.13. We were just about 10 inches below full pool. We came up 6 inches overnight on Thursday. The state of Texas got ravaged with storms, huge tornadoes in the panhandle that killed people and leveled some cities and towns. And here, a lot of mayhem on the roads, the trees. We really got tore up bad, but we got a lot of rain that raised the lake to 402.65, which it's still holding at 6 inches. 6 inches of raise in the lake. 0 to 1 clarity, 82 to 86, 83 to 86. The water temperature is still below what it should be. But the last week, 10 days, we've had a lot of really hot, extreme temperatures, high humidity, low winds. Things are coming around for that offshore deep bite. The weird thing is, this 6 inches of rain, when water rises, fish rise. So there are still shallow fish. There are deep fish, mid-range fish, and shallow fish. I had a friend of mine on Saturday, last Saturday, my guide trip on Saturday, we had 7 nice fish. They all came deep, 10 to 16 feet of water, underwater main lake points, big worms was the ticket. I had a friend of mine who didn't catch a fish on Saturday, fishing deep. Saturday evening, they went shallow, 2 foot of water in the back of a creek, and slammed them the last hour and a half of dark, all the way up to 8 pounds. Slammed them, 2 foot of water in the middle of June, end of June, okay? It's because of that fresh water, because of the cool temperatures. So early and late, you do want to be looking shallow, although that's changing. It's changing fast. We're really starting to come full effect to a summer pattern offshore deep bite. Football jigs, Carolina rigs, and big worms are your best bet on underwater humps, long points, tree lines, road beds, culverts, deep water flats. Understand how to read your map and find all those secret underwater points. If you don't follow me on Facebook, please do. The Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service. You get some daily reports, some daily pictures there that'll add to this report for you. I made a post a couple weeks back with my hummingbird, how to highlight your mapping so you can see some of these features. Then you go use your boat to sonar and check them out. But you need to be able to understand how to read a map, highlight the map, and go searching for these underwater homes, underwater places, underwater structure. Best colors are always your purples, your grapes, your black and blues, your brim colors, watermelon candy red. You can't go wrong with your dragging a Carolina rig with a brush hog throw 2 colors, watermelon candy early, watermelon candy red when the sun's shining later in the day. Make sure you're doing chartreuse on the tails. That's really, really important. A lot of the guys are Carolina rigging. A lot of friends of mine are Carolina rigging creature baits. Key secret with a Carolina rig, make sure your leader 4 or 5 foot is monofilament. We make a big mistake. We make that leader be fluorocarbon and then our bait sinks. We want that bait to hover in the water column. We want it to stay and float down slowly. The hook's going to make it fall still, but we want it to hover. We want it to sit in the water column. That's the point of a Carolina rig, is to have that bait visual from a distance, not buried on the bottom. The fish aren't always feeding on the bottom. Okay? But again, big worms really are the biggest ticket. They're the biggest, best bite going. One thing I will add to you guys that I'm going to show the members, which they've seen so many times, but this bottle of juice right here is called Magic Reaction. This is flour salt. Magic Reaction can be purchased at Lake Fork Marina. It can also be purchased from Real Time Rods, who's the maker, the producer of it. Magic Reaction is a bait scent additive that you add to your soft plastics. You take a bag of worms and you put a little bit of the liquid and then the salt. There's a reaction between the liquid and the salt. It opens the pores of the plastic and the plastic absorbs that smell. That smell is garlic and crawfish oil. Okay, it doesn't stink, it's not nasty, it won't rot, it doesn't rot, it's not oily, it doesn't leave an oil residue. Once it's finished, it has a nice, silky, non-oily, actually, believe it or not, awesome smell. It smells like you went to Bros for crawfish. Okay, it is. I have so many people, I say, check this out, and they go, I don't want to smell it. And I go, come on, smell it. And they go, oh wow, that smells really good. Yes, it does. It smells real. Okay, because it is. It's made with real crawfish and real, very, very potent garlic. Okay, try that. Try soaking your worms in that. It's an overnight thing. Prepare your worms the night before. Whatever your brush hogs or whatever your favorite plastic is, try using Real Time Rods, Magic Reaction, and I promise you, you'll get more bites. Okay. There's another bite out there that I will share with you. Sometimes a lot of these fish will they'll really school up offshore. And you got to fire them up. You got to trigger them off. Once you trigger them off and fire them up and stir the pot, they'll eat a lot more things. Sometimes you can spook them off if you go over them with the boat or you get too much on them with the boat. But if you'll stay away from them, you can fire them up. And one of the best things to fire them up with is a flutter spoon. Okay? This is the Magic Shad color in a 5-inch. You can go to the 6-inch or even the bigger one by, I think, called Ben Parsons spoon. But the Lake Fork Trophy Lures Flutter Spoon, and basically just your shad color, Magic Shad color, can really fire up a school. You'll catch a few on this first. Then try throwing the worm or something else in there and see what happens. If you're not getting the fish to bite, try throwing this. The way that I fish that spoon is I usually just snap it real good up off the bottom and let it flutter. Snap it, let it flutter. Sometimes I'll just swim it, and sometimes if they're really lethargic on the bottom, I'll just lift it and tap the bottom with it, and then hop it and let it flutter. But I'll tap the bottom, tap, 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 and then hop and flutter. That's a really good way. Lake Fork Trophy Lures, back in huge business, back on the board, catching lots of fish right here on their home lake, their home base, Lake Fork. All right, let's go to some more information. Unfortunately, my AC, with that power outage and the huge blast that we had Thursday, went out here in the studio. It's awfully hot in here. I'm due to get it fixed here shortly, but we are cooking. All right, a few more reports for you guys. I want to talk about some other lakes. I'm going to talk about bass fishing on some other lakes. I'm going to talk about bass fishing on Ray Hubbard with my good friend Joe Shipley and Texas Fishing Frenzy Outdoors. Right now, all the bass are at Hubbard. They're really in an offshore pattern, 13 to 20 feet on the rocks, brush piles, and the marina wave breaks, shaky head rigged worms and trick worms in the color red bug and green pumpkin. You can also throw Texas rig worms there, big 10-inch worms, and huge jigs. Those are producing some better fish. Possum Kingdom with my good friend Pete Hernandez. That lake is completely full. It's fishing really good. The shad are spawning. I'm sorry, not spawning. The shad are being chased by the bass. So there's really good topwater action in the main lake creeks like Bluff, Caddo, and Cedar. Meaning out in the main lake, at the mouths of those creeks, your walking topwaters are working really good. Your chrome colors, shad colors are working good. The Berkeley Drift Walker, the Berkeley Jay Walker is one of my favorites. Once that sun gets up, go a little deeper, 10 to 12 foot, 3/4 ounce jigs in craw colors and 10 to 12 inch Texas rigged worms out in about 10 to 15 feet of water. Those are working good. Lake Athens with my good friend Jake Bonner. I actually went fishing there last week myself. The water temperatures in the mid 80s, 1 to 2 foot visibility. Bass fishing's pretty good there. I found my fish off the main lake points and brush piles, 8 to 14 feet of water, and you're also catching some good fish around the edges of the grass with a drop shot finesse worm or a light Texas rig worms. Lake Levon with my good friend Kerry Thorne. Black bass there is really good. He said the spawn was awesome. They're seeing 3-inch babies all over the lake. Lake is full of 3 to 4 pound fish, and many bass from 6 to 9 pounds are being caught there. You want to really fish the deep water points, rock piles, brush piles, and riprap. Any of the summer locations. Early mornings are best. Always start early, shallow with spinnerbaits, then move a little deeper with your 3 to 6 foot diving crankbaits, and then of course finish your day with your Texas rig plastics and worms on the riprap and the rocks. Watermelon red, Okeechobee craw, those are your best colors at Levon. I told you about fork. Let's tell you a little bit about crappie. Now we're broadening this up for you. Crappie at Ray Hubbard, they're pretty good. It's okay anyways. Deep on the bridge pillars and aprons with minnows and crappie jigs. Crappie on Levon. Kerry says he's finding them 5 to 10 feet in the shallow brush and timber. Once the sun really gets up later in the day, they're in about 10 to 20 feet of water. Lake Fork crappie with guide Jackie Wiggins, one of my favorite guys. I love this guy. There is not a guide on the lake that works harder than Mr. Jackie Wiggins. He says that they're transitioning a little bit more to the summer trees and deeper stuff. He didn't see as many fish this week on the laydowns and the bridges as he was seeing, but the brush piles in 14 to 22 feet and the trees in 18 to 28 feet seem to be the best. The jig bite's a little down. Minnows are always going to catch those fish. How about some stripers action real quick? Stripers on Levon. They're up busting shad early in the morning. Top waters are working good. Paddle swim baits are working good. Once that sun gets down, if you're up, you're not seeing those top water fish or you're not having any top water action, move off to the flats in 5 to 20 feet of water. Some of them are suspended in 15 to 20, over 30. So your slab spoons yo-yoed up and down there are working really good. 1 ounce slab spoon in white chartreuse. And if you'll take a slab spoon and tie a marabou jig about 18 inches above it, you can catch 2 white bass at a time. Lake Tawakoni. Matt Cartwright says the hybrid stripers are on fire. They're eating large shad. So basically, you got to kind of get some live shad. You can go net some live shad, but you can also catch sand bass and things too as well. Everything's out about 20 to 28 feet of water. If you want catfish, man, look, any one of the lakes, any single lake you go to, if you're fishing for blue cats or flatheads, it's going to be different. You're going to need some cut shad for the blue cats, cut gizzard shad for blue cats. You're going to need live brim or carp minnows for the flatheads. But if you're fishing channel catfish, listen, all you got to do is go to the feed store, get some sour maize or cattle cubes, chum a hole the day before, chum a spot in about 18 to 20 feet of water, and come back the next day and you will clean up. It doesn't matter what lake you do it on. The channel catfish love it, and it's an awesome way to just fill your limit, 25 per person. You can do it in a couple hours, fill your freezer full of channel catfish fillets, yum, yum, delicious. That is my upgraded public report as I'm cooking right here in my studio, which is generally absolutely soundproof, sealed. It's insulated, super insulated actually. It's 8 inches of insulation on the ceiling, but it's within my garage, so it's hot. It's 84 degrees in here right now, and it's hot. I can't wait until the AC gets turned back on. But listen, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Hit the like button if you found this good. Comment below if you have any suggestions. Tell your friends. Share this link. Below this in the description, you can see several things. The link to become a member. The link to become a Let's Talk Fishing member, which is even more upgraded with chances to win free prizes and giveaways. But you can share this. You can share this public video. Help blow it up. We're giving out some really good information. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.